Good morning, everybody, and happy Sunday. Beginning of our Dharma class, first, everybody need to feel or need to recognize I am one of the fortunate and lucky person to able to wake up this morning. Because there are so many people who already passed away last year, last month, last night, even though this morning, just before we start our class. I'm very fortunate to have this opportunity to practice the Dharma. I'm very fortunate one to be able to control my negative thoughts. Just imagine if we died last night. In this moment, we are already in the hell being, hungry beings, animal beings, what kind of life we could have. Therefore, at the beginning, we must appreciate ourselves to have the opportunity to good things, to benefit yourself, to benefit your family, to benefit all sentient beings. In order to benefit all sentient beings, without exception, we must achieve the enlightened state. We must become a Buddha. In order to become Buddha, we need to practice the Dharma, the pure Dharma, which is cause to eliminate all the negative thoughts, include all the negative karmas. We need to practice the pure Dharma, which can be direct cause to achieve Buddhahood. Therefore, at the beginning also we think, I will practice the pure Dharma, the ultimate Dharma. In order to practice the pure Dharma, we need to practice the foundation of the Dharma practice, which is the four mindfulness. The mindfulness of the body, mindfulness of the feeling, mindfulness of the mind, the mindfulness of the object. These four mindfulness are like a foundation, like a solid foundation. And more the for mindfulness, first we do mindfulness on the body, the gross and subtle body. Here, the subtle body refer to our breath. Be seated comfortably. Do mindfulness on your own breath. Long, short, strong, shallow, whatever breath you are breathing, please mindful on your breath. Also need to realize while you are breathing in and out, you need to feel the sensation or the feeling. You need to feel when you breathe in, the air going through your nostril, throat, reach to your lungs. All parts of body is filling with the breath or air. When you breathe out, also need to feel the sensation, the feeling sensation in and out, all parts of body. Not everybody feel the pleasant feeling within your body, very calm, peaceful, and pleasant feeling. The pleasant or the peaceful feeling can cause to arising craving, attachment. Any kinds of attachment and desire actually caused by craving. Craving arise because of the pleasant feeling. Second, realize or cultivate unpleasant feeling. Focus on the very unpleasant person, unpleasant environment, very unpleasant food, unpleasant environment. Then immediately we can feel the unpleasant feeling. Due to the pleasure feeling, pleasant feelings can be caused to arise anger, hatred, disappointments. When the anger, hatred arise, you must realize the anger is arising, already arise, going to arise. When you realize the anger is going to arise, already arised, have been arising, immediately you need to apply the antidotes, control the anger, hatred, attachment, disappointment, whatever negative thoughts arising. Therefore, first you need to recognize. Second, you need to apply. Don't let them arise continuously. But the anger, hatred, disappointment, ego, pride, let them arise continuously, then we can have all the destructive actions. Then step number 2, realize the breath which is breathed by our body, nose, tongue, throat, heart, lungs, every part of our body involved with our breath in and out. When we breathe in, our lungs and heart, all parts of body, like it become like a bloom. When we breathe out, all parts of body become flat. At the same time, need to realize the actual nature of our body. We attach to our own body. We have an attachment towards others being body. The body which is we consider is very pure, very clean, very attractive, very beautiful, very strong. Actually, it is not truth. Visualize the body in the coffin box with a nice makeup, dress well. Can we attach to the body in the coffin? Can we attach to the body on the charnel ground? Can we attach to the body which is being on the charnel ground for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or weeks, we cannot. We feel scared. We can feel all the smell. Therefore, the person body is exactly the same as the body on the coffin box, on the charnel ground, the body which have been eaten by the animals. Therefore, we need to control attachment towards our own body or other bodies. This mindfulness maybe we can use to control the gross attachment, the gross level of anger, hatred, ego, pride. The third step, we need to meditate on the mind. Generally, the mind is like a very pure water, pure crystal, very transparent crystal. When the water polluted by yellow color, whole water become yellow. When the water polluted by blue color, red color, all mind transform as a yellow, blue, black. When you put the pure crystal transparent on the white clothes, the color has changed as a white. And the pure crystal we put on the black color, the crystal color changes to black. Likewise, when we focus on the beautiful object, have a concept, the object is so beautiful, then our mind immediately polluted by attachment. When there's an object which is we have a concept, you consider the object, whatever is considered very ugly, annoying, immediately anger, hatred arise, then the actual mind polluted by anger. When the mind polluted by negative thoughts, attachment, ego, pride, jealousy, the mind is totally polluted, then we feel we are not happy, I am not happy, because all the distracted mind disturb your peace of mind. The third step is the mindfulness on the mind, polluted mind, neutral mind, pure mind. When we realize our mind is polluted by anger, don't the mind polluted by anger continuously, we need to stop the anger. We need to control the anger by applying the actual antidotes, which is compassion, kindness, particularly forbearance, tolerance. Here we need to recognize what is the different feeling you have when the polluted mind arises within you. You need to recognize the feeling when the unpolluted, the pure mind arises. There's a huge different feeling when the polluted mind arises. We feel it's very annoying. When the pure mind arises, we feel it's very calm, very peaceful. Also, when the polluted mind arises, a lot of suffering arises within the polluted mind. For example, when you say, I'm very angry, means your mind is totally polluted by anger. The anger destroy your happiness, destroy happiness of your families, friends, neighbor. Also, anger can destroy the peace all part of the world. Therefore, the mindfulness of the mind is very important to recognize the pure mind, impure mind, the neutral mind. The next, mindfulness of the object of the mind. The object of the mind, you can divide into two, the positive sides and the negative sides. The positive side is the 7 factor of the enlightenment. Mindfulness on the 4 noble truths. The negative side is the 5 polluted minds, 5 aggregates, then the 7 like a factor. So today we should study about the 5 hindrances. What are the 5 hindrances? Sensual desire. We need a food to eat. We need a clothes to wear. We need a place to live. We need a family to talk. But we should not have a desire towards them. When we have a strong desire, when we have it, the things, we generate more craving. We have a strong desire for something. When we cannot have it, we get angry, upset. Therefore, every time we need to control the sensual or mental desire. The desire is the negative for our life. Then, ill will or hatred and anger. If there's a desire or attachment, easy to arouse anger and hatred. The less you have attachment and desire, then you have a less anger and hatred. The second hindrance is ill will. The third, number 3, the hindrance is the sloth and the torpor. A sloth or torpor is like when you do meditation, you feel your mind is totally kind of darkness. You cannot see the object very purely, clearly. Kind of, darkness, your mind become quite darkness. Then second, within the number 3, the torpor is kind of sleepy mind. These two are great obstacle while you are doing meditation. For example, let's all be together meditate on impermanence, not the gross impermanence, the subtle impermanence, and which which is momentarily changing. After meditation on impermanence, our mind becomes very sleepy. The strength of the meditation becomes loose. Or you cannot focus at all. That means your mind your mind doesn't have any strength, or your mind got a lot of distraction. That means there's a two. Sloth, and the torpor. Number 3. Number 4 has a two. Worry and flurry is a excitement and regret. Excitement and regret. Among these two, the excitement is one of the great obstacles. At the beginning, you're able to focus on the chosen object, whatever you choose as an object of meditation. At the beginning, you can be mindful, you can focus on the object, the chosen object. After a few minutes, your mind has gone. The mindfulness cannot mindful on the chosen object. But your mind has gone somewhere. Your mind is disturbed. Disturbed can be, there's two causes. One is due to the attachment. One is due to the rest of the negative thoughts. For example, while you are meditating, your mind remember food, drink. This means your mind has an attachment, craving. Therefore, your mind has gone. While you are doing meditation, even though you remember recitation, chanting, prostration, also it can be obstacle for meditation. Due to remembering the recitation, chanting, your mind got distraction. Therefore, excitement and regret. Then the fifth one, the doubt. In our life, generally, we must have a doubt. Make sure, should I do, should not I do? Should I buy, should not? At the beginning, we need a doubt. Based on the doubt, then you need to do analysis. You need to think about, you need to do investigation. Good or bad, neutral. Generally, we need a doubt. Your mind is very doubty. Every time you have a doubt, you cannot do anything, you cannot reach anywhere. You always stay there, doubt. Therefore, doubt. These are the 5 hindrances for meditation. These are the 5 the conducive condition to arising negative thoughts. Those are the conducive condition for engaging into negative action. Then next is the 5 aggregates. Form, feeling, perception, mental formation, consciousness. So when you think about who I am, who are they, how actually I am a human being, then you need to know the 5 aggregates. Based on the 5 aggregates, we label, like this is human or this is non-human. Even though you have a form, feeling, perception, mental formation, consciousness, based on the 5 aggregates, we label, he or she. After you study about the five aggregates, then slowly let you to realize the actual I, me, and mine. For us, all the time, when we think about me means yourself. When you think you are Lynn, you are Christy, you are John, whatever, whoever you are, when you think I am, so and so, me, we think me is a very solid within your body or mind. Also, you think I am, me is very single phenomena somewhere. It's not true. When you say me, it depends on the five aggregates. When you say I'm very big, I'm very strong, mean you level based on the body. When you say I'm very intelligent, you are label established based on the minds. When you say I'm very happy person, you are labeled based on the feeling. When you say I am very unhappy person, that means you are established, you are labeled based on the even the feeling. Therefore, after you studying for like five aggregates for a while, then you need to learn me, I, whatever you name is empty of independent entity, mainly established, mainly labeled based on the five aggregates. So realizing selflessness, there's a self. The self is not really independent. The self is established based on the five aggregates. First, you need to recognize the hindrance for meditation, the five hindrance, the five conducive condition for the samsara. Then, how me and I, him, her established. The next, the six sense bases. After you study about the six sense bases, then you will realize how the mind actually functions. Air consciousness function because there's a sound, there's a music. Without object of the air consciousness, the air consciousness cannot arise, cannot function. Therefore, object and subject come together. Then there's the mind is function. The mind is function, and also mind can be function in the positive way and negative way. For example, when your air consciousness contact to the beautiful sound of music, you have a pleasant feeling. The pleasant feeling actually causes to arising attachment. When your air consciousness contact to the object, the sound which is very unpleasant, which you really don't like, that due to contacting the air consciousness with the unpleasant sound, it arise anger within your mind. Clear? Mind. Generally, the sound, the music is a pleasant or unpleasant, beautiful or ugly. It depends on your perception. In the reality, there's no such a say, this is a beautiful sound, this is an ugly sound. One sound, one music can be beautiful, can be ugly, depend on the person who has the perception. These three R's are mainly described as cause to have a arising, attachment, anger, all the negative actions. Then which are the positive things? which are the conducive condition to achieve cessation. Conducive condition to cause, liberate yourself, liberate from the samsara. Samsara doesn't mean the place where we are living. The samsara describe our body described as a samsara, this physical body. We need this physical body in order to practice dharma. Also, due to this physical body, we have all kinds of sufferings and problems. All the sickness we have, the physical sickness, headache, stomach ache, backache, cancer, all kinds of sickness we have because of this body. This body is suffering, but we can use it in the positive way. For example, there's let's say like a mercury, right? Mercury, like a gold, silver liquids. If you drink directly, it can be poison. It kill you. If you know how to purify, that the mercury can be the best medicine for you. Likewise, this physical body can be caused to arising attachment, so and so. Also, this physical body can be caused to cultivate renunciation, can be caused to cultivate great compassion. It doesn't mean the physical body is very negative. It can be caused to negative things. Then the Four Noble Truths. Everybody knows what are the Four Noble Truths. Very, very easy to count. Root of suffering, origin of suffering, cessation, the path to cessation. Very easy. The number is very easy to count. Actually, not easy to realize the truth of suffering. Not easy to realize, origin of suffering. Not easy to realize the cessation, which is cease the negative thoughts, include karma. Not easy to realize the actual path, which lead to cessation. So today we study morely the first two truths. Page number 344. Right? 344. The Four Noble Truths. Again, a monk abides contemplating the mind objects. He do so. Here a monk knows as it is really it. This is suffering. He knows as it really is. This is origin of suffering. He knows as it really is. This is the cessation of suffering. He knows it really is. This is the way of practice leading to the cessation of the suffering. First, as a Buddhist, we must know the Four Noble Truths. Not just knowing, many of you know very well about the Four Noble Truths. But the Four Noble Truths, we knows, but we really don't practice the Four Noble Truths. Knowing is very easy. You can listen, teaching from someone. You can use the audio, listen about Four Noble Truths. When we practice, it only depends on you. Depends on you. We should not think if I pray to Buddha for many years, I can practice Four Noble Truths very easily. It's a wrong thinking. For example, I told you yesterday, you are in the ocean, you are really doing in the water. Then you are screaming, you are calling someone So you say, please save me. Save me. Next to the ocean, there's a person like a Buddha. Buddha really cannot come and bring you from the say from your ocean. Buddha will tell you, hey, there's a piece of wood, there's a the tree on you. You just hold the tree, you can be safe. Buddha can do like only this. Buddha Shakyamuni, when he was born in India, what he did, sometimes he show kind of miracle things to generate belief and faith as him. Since he actually taught the Dharma, how to reduce the suffering, what are the cause of suffering. Therefore, we have, if you consider, I'm Buddhist, I follow Buddha Shakyamuni, you have to be very practical. You should not be just, have a blunt faith. Four Noble Truth is actually teach us the cause and effect. Cause and effect. Suffering arises from where? The origin of suffering. Clear origin of suffering. The cessation we wish to achieve also arise or caused by the path, the pure path, the Dharma. Therefore, at the beginning, as a Buddhist, whichever tradition you follow, no matter, you can follow the Chinese, Buddhist tradition, Thai, Tibetan, Chinese, doesn't matter. The Four Noble Truths are the foundation for all these Four Noble Truths. What are the first truth? Truth of suffering. What is the second truth? The truth of origin of suffering. What are the third truth? The truth of cessation of the suffering. What are the fourth truth? The truth of the path, or the truth of the way to leading to the cessation. That we must say, use the truth of suffering. That the complete sentence is the truth of the truth of the truth of suffering, truth of suffering of the Arya, the truth of suffering, truth of the origin of suffering of the Arya, the truth of suffering, the truth of cessation of the Arya, the truth of the path to leading to the cessation of the Arya. Means, for us, the physical body, we not really realize, we really can say, yes, the five aggregates is the suffering. We were not really convinced ourselves. When the Arya, looking towards the physical suffering, the physical body, they are sure, they can say surely the five aggregates is the suffering. Also, when the Arya look at the ignorance, attachment, anger, all the karmas, they will say surely these are the origin of suffering, right? Like we are the sick person, you are very sick. We never know why I have a sickness. But roughly you can say I have a sickness because I have a lungs problem. I had a heart problem. My heart has a problem. My kidneys has a problem. My bone has a problem. We say roughly, we really don't know the actual cause of the sickness. But the doctor will say, yes, you have this problem because of this particular, cause. That means it's truth for the Arya, is not for truth for us. Right? Therefore, the complete sentence is the truth of suffering of the Arya, truth of the origin of suffering of the Arya, the truth of the cessation of the Arya, the truth of cessation which is leading to the cessation of the Arya. They have to add a little bit Arya, Four Noble Truths. Now within the four, so Buddha explained here more precisely about truth of suffering. Continuously, page number 344. And what, monks, is the noble truth of suffering? Birth is suffering. Aging is suffering. Death is suffering. Sorrow, lamentation, pain, sadness, distress are the suffering. Yes, we can understand like birth is suffering, aging is suffering, the death is very suffering, sorrow is suffering, lamentation, pain, sadness, distress are suffering. Being attached to the unloved is suffering. It's a very, one of the difficult suffering. Being separated from the loved one is suffering. Not getting what one wants is suffering. In short, the five aggregates of the grasping are suffering. The five aggregates are suffering. Among this suffering, everybody feel very kind of annoying, feel very upset when you realize you are getting older, you are very old. But since we were born, we cannot evolve, right? We have to go through the aging. When there's an aging, we cannot stop death that will come. In between, the sorrow, pain, sadness, distress, and attached to the unloved one, separated from the loved one, we cannot stop. When we have the physical body, the five aggregates. Now everybody just reflect on our life. Since since our concept time. So what was it look like when we were in the mother womb? It's more similar than the, like mustard seeds. Smaller than the mustard seeds in the mother womb. Very small, very tiny, kind of, like a atom. Very small piece of things in the mother womb, in the egg. Then gradually, the concept seeds, it develop, it become bigger. Slowly, they can see there's a little bit look like head and leg, like a hands. Actually, there's like 5 dots, head and hands and leg. Then the small piece of the tiny things from the mother womb, it become baby. Still, there's no really eyes, nose, nothing. It's still, piece of like a meat. Then, before we really come out from our mother womb, that we can see there's a kind of eyes, nose, everything. Then we will come out. Since, started, experience the suffering. Since it's already started, experience the samsaric happiness. Then when you are 1 year old, you look so cute. It's nice. Then you become, more developed. 10 years old, 20 years old, you are very youthful. You are very, you have a lot of energy. So you are very kind of powerful person. Then, age of 40, we have all kinds of sickness. Day by day, we are getting older. We cannot stop. Since from the concept time all the way until death, there's aging is there. Also, we cannot stop death. Only we can stop aging and death if we are able to stop taking a rebirth. We can stop taking a rebirth if we eliminate the ignorance, attachment, anger, and the karma. So in order to understand the complete understanding, in order to have a complete understanding about the first two truths, you need to study about the 12 links dependent origination, ignorance, karma, consciousness, then birth. So, truth of suffering. Then what monk is birth? Whatever beings of whatever group of being, there's a birth, coming to be, coming forth, appearance of the aggregates, then acquisition of the sense basis. The monk is called birth. It's telling us how our body develop in mother womb. What does mean birth? Let me say growing, aging. Whatever beings or whatever groups of being, there's an aging. Decrepitude, broken teeth, gray hair, wrinkled skin, shrinking with age, decay of the sense of faculties. Monk is called aging. At broken teeth also we can realize, gray hair also realize, wrinkled skin also realize, shrinking with the aging is very difficult one. Because most of us this day, you can feel very difficult when you really, get up from your chair and bed, right? Even when you sit for your chair and bed, slowly you can feel the, kind of ache from your back, like so no problem. There's many already start the shrinking with the age. Then one day we need to use the walking stick. We need to use the, walking like kind of chair. Still we cannot walk well. Then decay of the sense faculties. We don't have experience of the, aging of the sense faculty. When you look at the like 80 or 90 plus years old, they cannot recognize who you are. Even though they cannot recognize they are like a children. They cannot hear the sound, what they are talking. When they eat, even though you feed in the best, food, for them, just swallow the food. They don't feel the taste of the food. Somehow, we have to go through. How many times we have to go through this one? How many times? Answer is very simple. It depends on you. Let's say we all, all human beings, we are in the, very scary prison, in jail. The jailer or, the policeman, they always torture us from morning to evening. So how long we have to stay in the prison? How long? It depends on you. If you are brave, you can, run away from the prison. If you are lazy, so you have to be in the prison for forever. So we have been lazy for billions of years because we are in the prison. like Buddha Shakyamuni, Manjushri, Amida Buddha, all the Buddhas is a very, brave, very hard worker. They run from the prison, run away from samsara. How long we should stay? Simple answer is depend on me, not depend on Buddha. Buddha all teach us what are the cause of samsara, how you can escape, you can run away from the samsara. Buddha already teach all the techniques, all the methods. But we are the lazy person, we're not able to apply. Right? Therefore, here, aging, the death. Then after aging, then death will come. What is the death? Whatever beings or whatever groups of beings, there's a passing away, removal, cutting off, disappearances, death, dying, ending, cutting of the aggregates, discarding of the body. So what does mean death? Does mean we are like a guest, right? We are the guests. We stay in this hotel for few years, then we move to next hotel. Stay a few years in other hotel, we move to another hotel. We are just moving within the 5 realms. In the past, let's say we are animal beings. We use the human body. Now we have the human body. All the body look like guest house, hotel. And next, after we die, maybe next we are passing to where? Other kinds of life. That means before you go to overseas, you need to book a hotel. Right? If you have a good resources, you can book 5-star hotel, have all the facilities. If you are a very poor person, somehow you need to book a hotel, right? You have to book a hotel. There's no choice. You have to book a hotel. You cannot book the 5-star hotel. You cannot book a very expensive hotel because you don't have resources. That means, what does mean resources? We need a good karma. We need a good merit. Then you can book a good hotel with all the facility. You have a very, kind of little positive karma. Still, you can book a hotel which doesn't have all the facility. At least you have a hotel to live. At least your hotel, right? You don't have any money. When you reach overseas, they will throw in the stick. Right? You have a positive karma, then after we die, we fall into lower realms. There's no choice. You have to take a rebirth in the lower realms. So the next life can be the fortunate life, unfortunate life. It not depends on Buddha. It depends on 100% depends on us. That death and decay, cutting off the aggregates, passing away, removal, cutting off the disciplines, the death, decay. So these are the very detailed explanation about the suffering. What is sorrow? Whenever by any kinds of misfortune, anyone is affected by something of the painful nature, sorrow, mourning, distress, inward grief, inward woes, the monk is called sorrow. For example, when one of your dear one pass away, you lost something which is very valuable for you. When you lost it, then you have a sorrow, right? You have a sorrow. So when you lost your dear one, dear father, dear mother, this time, many people, less people, very few people will say, my dear father, my dear mother, right? Many few people say, my dear. It's very, because things is changing so quickly, rapidly. Unfortunately, this day, there are so many children, they try to kill their parent in order to earn the, like a money or power, whatever they have. So many children try to kill their parents in order to earn the property. So we are very fortunate, even though you are lay person, you have a family, still your children, or relatives, they cares you, which you are very lucky. After 100 years, after 50 years, things will change. The parent, killed by children, killed by relatives. These are very unfortunate things will happen. Sorrow, grief. Then how we can, actually live with our families? If you really love them, the sorrow will come. If you really don't love them, then there's no meaning, don't feel the meaningful. I have a relative and friends, right? For example, you can see, you really love the loved one. When you meet the person, you feel so happy, right? So happy. If you don't have a sense of love, then when you meet a person, you look like meeting a stranger. You don't have then how we can have the, happy life? Very simple. You need to consider all the people who live around you, you like your best friend. You treat well, live, harmoniously, should not have attachment. Must say, this is my mother, this is my father. Yes, he or she is your mother, or she is your mother, he is your father, but you must care without condition. Then you can have a good family. When someone, when the dear one left, going to leave, yes, this is the nature of the samsara. We were born, they have to leave. I will live before them, they will live before me. We cannot stop. Just realize the truth. Then we have a less sorrow. Then lamentation. Whenever by any kinds of the misfortune, anyone is affected by something of the painful nature, and there's a crying out, lamentation, making much noise for grief, making great lamentation. The monk is called lamentation. So all of you can read, sentence by sentence about the suffering. After you read all these sentences, most important, you need to recognize, you really need to realize, wherever I am born, whoever with me, at the end, we have to be separated. Whatever things you have, one day is going to disappear. Doesn't matter how much you love it or him, how much you care, still one day the separation will come. Should not have a lot of sadness. Now we move to the second, the truth, which is the origin of suffering. So I give you as a homework, you can complete about the truth of suffering. Also try to understand the meaning. When you understand, you need to know how to apply, how to overcome. And what monks is the noble truth of origin of suffering. It is the craving which give rise to the rebirth, born up with the pleasure and the lust, finding fresh delight now. Here, now there's the truth, the essential craving for existent and the craving of non-existent. Among the origin of suffering, first Buddha taught here, craving. Then when we have a craving, it gives rise to the rebirth. Again, here you need to know a little bit about the Four Noble Truths. Let's say among the Four Noble Truths, as an origin, as a root, there's ignorance. Ignorance, right? Ignorance. Ignorance of the reality, or ignorance about the cause and effect. Cause and effect. We have ignorance of cause and effect. Therefore, we wish to be happy. We always engage into the cause of suffering, right? We always wish to be happy, have a happy life. But for the 24 hours, we engage into the cause, which is cause to bring suffering. Therefore, suffering cannot be ended. So, if you want happiness, if you are serious about, want happiness, then we must engage into the positive cause, which is bring a lot of happiness. For example, you don't want suffering, but still you are lying, you are cheating, you are cheater, be cheater, you liar, you're killing, you're doing all the bad things, then how you can be happy? That means we have ignorance about cause and effect. For example, you are in the home, in the house, you want more, like cooling sense, you need a cooling air, but you switch on the heater, right? Because you are ignorant person. If you wish to be more cool, cooling, you want a cooling environment, you own the heater. Do you think you are intelligent? Do you think you are? No, right? No. Same way, we want happiness, but we always engage with the ignorant, attachment, eager, a kind of ego, anger, negative action. Therefore, we have ignorance of cause and effect. Also, we don't want suffering. You don't want suffering, you always collect the cause to arise suffering. You want happiness, we want happiness, we always destroy the cause of happiness. That means ignorance of the cause and effect. We have ignorance, about cause and effect because we have ignorance of the reality. Therefore, ignorance. Due to ignorance, we engage into action. Doesn't matter, positive action, negative action, both arise suffering. There's an action. There's an action, then the action activate by craving. How? For example, you are on the process of death. Let's say you're going to die within like 1 hour. That moment, the person has a karma. He has a positive karma, has a negative karma. Both karma is there. Which karma can be activated? Which karma can be activated? Positive or negative? It depends on you. Then how the karma activate? That means, so when you are on the process of death, you have a strong craving about, let's say, certain object, like going to in Europe, in America, or whatever. It's strong craving. The craving activate the negative karma. Process on the death, when you have a strong kind of craving to born in the pure land, kind of craving or desire to born in pure land, or craving have to meet Buddha, have a craving on generating compassion, then the craving activate the positive karma. Right? Therefore, the moment of the death, while we are on the process of death, we have to be very careful. Instead of crying, instead of worry about family, instead of worry about your belonging, you totally need to let them go. Your family, your friends, your property, whatever you have, let them go. you must do the right, what you call, preparation to take a good rebirth. Therefore, moment of death, you need to have a strong craving like pure land or Buddha land, generating bodhicitta, compassion. There is 100% activate the positive karma. Then next life, 100% you can take a rebirth in the positive, like fortune realms. There's a craving is mentioned, craving. How craving is, involved about you are taking a rebirth. Origin of suffering is the craving, is it give rise to the rebirth. Then you can see there's a craving, the craving activate the karma, then give rise to the birth. But we cannot stop the craving because we have a feeling. When you have a feeling, the feeling always feels something. When you feel something, then there's a craving. For example, when you feel to eat, like a noodle, pizza, then the craving just, craving on the food. There's a feeling, there's a craving. Is craving on the positive side or negative side up to us. And where does this craving arise and establish itself? Wherever in the world there's anything agreeable and the pleasurable, there this craving arise and establish itself. Nothing establish itself, there must be a cause. Agreeable, pleasurable, and the craving establish. What is there in the world? There is the agreeable, pleasurable. For example, the eyes in the world is agreeable and pleasurable. Therefore, craving can be arise through your eyes, through your air, through your tongue, through your body. When your body is become very weak, you cannot hear any sound, see, you cannot see, you are look like totally in the darkness. Somebody push you, you cannot feel. Because you are, dying within maybe a few hours. The body not going to move, cannot move or set. But that time still there's a mind. We call the sixth mind. Eye consciousness, head consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, all it already dissolved, no more. But still there's a mind. There's a mind, there's a feeling. The mind can feel something. Therefore, craving there. Also, pleasurable, agreeable, then the craving established. Based on the sound, symbol, word, everything has gone still. The mind can craving agreeable of the mind objects. Then there's is studying each of the consciousness, air consciousness, eyes consciousness, feeling, perception. Has been telling more precisely about the truth of origin of suffering, right? So today, mostly we learn object of mind has a two sides. One is the what do you call it, hindrances, the five hindrances. Then we learn five aggregates is the kind of basis established like a human being or not whatever we name. So we are established, me, my, I established based on what? Five aggregates. I cannot be very solid. I cannot be independent. Me, my, I mean, merely depend on five aggregates. The label as a, he or she, like whatever name we have, five aggregates. After study precisely, five aggregates, you need to realize selflessness. There's not such a solid I. There's no such an independent I. I is totally empty of independent existence, merely depend on the five aggregates. Then we learn the six sense basis. This tell us how the mind function. positive minds and negative minds, whatever mind is functioning within us, it depends on the object, depends on the sense basis. After you realize this thing, then you will be able to control the negative thoughts, you're able to generate the positive thoughts. Then next, there's a 7 factor of the 7 factor of the enlightenment. 7 factor. So before the 4 noble truth, the 7 factor. This means conducive condition for the enlightenment. What are the 7 factors? Mindfulness, investigation, energy or joy effort, delight, tranquility, equanimity. These are the 7 factors of enlightenment. If you have a good mindfulness, you can continuously, able to engage in positive action. Also, very mindfulness, you continuously able to meditate on impermanence. You continuously able to meditate on compassion, kindness, tolerance. Mindfulness also the factor of enlightenment. Then investigation or wisdom. Whatever things appear to you, you need to investigate. Things appear to as a beautiful object. It doesn't mean the object is really beautiful. Things appear to you as an ugly object. It doesn't mean the object can be very ugly. You need to study. You need to investigate. You have to be master to realize the actual reality of the phenomena, any phenomena. Then energy or joy effort. So we become lazy. We don't have a lot of, progress in our dharma practice because we don't have a joy effort. We don't have a, the continuum energy to practice the dharma continuously. Then the tranquility is a kind of, in other words, they call plancy, the mental or physical plancy. Remember in the special insight, you're talking about plancy. For example, right now, when you do meditation, when we do meditation for, let's say, 10 minutes, for the 10 minutes, we are okay. Slowly, our body feels tired. Body needs a resting. Body needs a water. Body needs a food. Means the body is not really tranquil, not plancy. And physically, you can sit like a meditation posture for let's say 1 hour. You cannot feel tired. You cannot feel like thirsty. The body is okay. The mind becomes very lazy, sleepy. Mean the mind doesn't have the plancy or tranquility. Then equanimity is the number 7. Tranquility, number 7, equanimity, right? Mindfulness, investigation, energy or joy effort, delight, tranquility, equanimity are the 7 factors of enlightenment. Then we learn more precisely about truth of suffering, the origin of suffering. Next, we're going to learn the cessation and the path to cessation. Okay, so now it's 11:20. So if you have any question, answer, we have a time for Q&A.
Dear Dharma brothers and sisters, if you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand or unmute yourself. Or alternatively, you can type in the chat window as well.
May I ask you, this ignorance, is it the self-grasping existence of the I? What ignorance is this?
Okay, he asked a question. What is the difference? Ignorance or self-grasping? Or is self-grasping is ignorance or not? There's a difference between ignorance and self-grasping. Self-grasping means you consider you are the most important one, rest of not. They call self-grasping. Self-grasping, one meaning. Second, if you have an idea, if you believe I am as an independent I, is also kind of self-grasping. Self-grasping, self-centered attitudes has a similar meaning. Clear? Self-grasping, centered attitudes has a similar meaning. It depends on how you grasp the I, self. If you believe me is very independent, not depends on any of my five aggregates, I may be very singleness. That means you have a grasping, self-grasping is ignorance. Ignorance. Second, if you, generally, all human beings, all sentient beings, at the end, they think, they consider I am most important. Not saying I'm important, but they feel. For example, you and your friends are stuck somewhere, let's say earthquake. There's no food or no drink, or there's a little food and drink. First, you try to share the food equally, all your families. You think this is my family. At the end, there's only, little pieces, very little food. Then somehow you will eat more, you will share less for them. Naturally like that. Therefore, self-grasping, if you consider, I'm first, I'm most important, then the rest of is self-grasping, if self-centered attitudes. Therefore, ignorance of the phenomena, ignorance of the person. Ignorance person means the person grabbed as independent, this is the ignorance of person. If you believe yourself, somehow I am the first, I am the most important, these are grasping, these are not really ignorance, it's kind of self-centered attitudes. Clear? Okay. Any question?
No more question, Geshe Lobsang.
Okay, so no more questions. So I will say a little bit related to our life, particularly as a Buddhist. Many of you have been studying Dharma for many years, which is really, I can appreciate. Many of you have been attending teaching from different master, different teacher, different Geshe, which is, I can appreciate in generally. In the future, let's say there's a teaching, going to give by, so-and-so. Doesn't matter the teacher is a Rinpoche or Geshe or Reincarnation or Sibu, whatever. All of you think twice. Should I attend the teaching or not? Should I attend the initiation or not? If you really want to see the Rinpoche or Lama or Sibu, you just say, I want to see, I just want to be there. It's perfectly okay. You can go, you can see, you can sit there. But you should not consider, I'm going to receive the initiation. I want to be there as a, the kind of happy environment, see the Sifu, just want to be happy there, not want to attend the initiation. Also, let's say there's a Rinpoche or Lama, Geshe, whoever is going to give a teaching, also you need to think twice. Yes, the teaching is very important. Is the teaching is relevant to my daily life or not? The teaching is relevant to my daily practice or not? Is this totally different teaching, not relevant to your daily life, not relevant to your daily practice? Then better not attend the teachings. Also because somehow you your friends ask you to attend, your friend know the Rinpoche, your friend know the Geshe of the Lama. No, it doesn't mean teacher can be good for you. A teacher can be good for your friends. It doesn't mean good for you. Also, you need to analyze about the teacher and the teaching, or the benefit or not. This is number one. Number two, many of you have a lot of, like different kind of commitments, different kinds of recitation, chanting. You need to learn through your teacher. You need to learn through your, like a qualified friend, how you can put all the teaching, all the practice in order in a very simple way. You have a commitment, you have like 10, 12 commitments from different teacher. You are doing the commitments separately. You're not able to put all up in, in order, in simple way. Second, you need to learn how you put all your practice in together in the short and simple way, able to do very easily. This is number two. I want to request you to do, compress all practice teaching together in the short way. Then number three, I want to request all of you should not just indulge with the recitation, chanting, receiving teaching, mental imprint, accumulating merit. Should not just indulge with this kind of activity. You must have a more, kind of enthusiasm to practice, to do more meditation, to try to transform yourself, try to be, better, try to transform yourself in a good way. If you only indulge with your recitation, chanting, prostration, you're never going to have a progress in your progress in Dharma in your life. This I want to say, thought number three. Then the number fourth. When we are very happy, everything is very smooth, everything is good, we forget, usually everybody, including me, we forget to practice Dharma. When something happens seriously, then also we forgot to apply Dharma. We rely on, the external factor, we rely on so many things. Whether you are happy or not happy, the life is smooth or harsh. Please practice Dharma all the time. Particularly when you are facing very difficult, you have a difficult life, difficult friend, family, the Dharma most you need that moment. Because when you have problem, then you go see, like a teacher asking advice, you go to see kind of a certain kind of person again, going to get advice, which is very good. But most important, you must apply your Dharma when you have problems, when you are in dangers, when you are in a confusion state, you must apply your Dharma. For example, let's say, your business is not going well, you are facing business problem, you are facing relationship problem, you are facing health problem. Yes, you need to get advice from here or there. The most important, you apply your Dharma. Relationship problem, apply Dharma. Business problem, apply Dharma. Health problem, apply Dharma. Because it doesn't matter how much you rely on the doctor and medicine, at the end, we need to give up the life. We need to go next life. Therefore, rely on the Dharma, rely on the doctor is both are important, but should not forget apply Dharma. This is the number four, I want to request all of you. Then the number fifth, everybody, you have your own teacher, which is very good. At least you have someone who can teach you, who can explain you, who can guide you. But you should not really, what you call English, there's a promote. You should not promote your teacher. If you really want to promote your teacher, you really want to say, my teacher is very good. My teacher is very important. First, you change yourself. You try to be better person. You try to be happy person. You try to be more open person. You try to reduce your negative thoughts. Then people will realize, how come this person is different than me? 10 years ago, the person is very angry, very narrow-minded. Now he becomes very happy, very open. And the person will notice you are changed because of your teacher. Then other people will think about follow your teacher. Without changing yourself, without transforming yourself, without practicing Dharma by your teacher, you should not follow your teacher. Then at the end, what happened? You also, cannot do, you are not going Dharma over with Dharma practice. Also, you asking your person, just come and see my teacher, follow my teacher, not the teaching. So you should not promote your teacher without really practice the teaching by yourself. You practice the teaching taught by your teacher, transformed by yourself, changed by yourself, then automatically your friends and family will follow your teacher. This I want to say in the last. Okay, then we can stop here. Sonam can do the dedication, the short one, or you can do the Lamrim dedications. At the end, we do dedication. Dedication is so important. We cannot reach ourselves everywhere. Still, we can reach our dedication to everywhere for everyone. So please dedicate the merit, whatever we accumulate this morning, to benefit all sentient beings, benefit for all the countries, benefit for your friends and family.